Is there anything more fun to watch than a movie dance scene? It's no wonder that it's such a widely used tool. A dance scene can be disturbing, rebellious, erotic, and represent personal growth. So the question is, can a dance film be as effective as a dance scene? We could all use a little boost of pure euphoric energy, and to me, a dance film's best strength is its ability to make you want to dance out of your seat and leave your cares behind. With that in mind, I want to talk about 1989's Shag and Step Up from 2006, and discuss how a dance film can best make you want to get up and join in. Look, you're probably expecting me to dump all over Step Up, but I think the film starts out fairly well. The opening credits are a fun contrast between hip-hop and ballet, and they establish a good groove. We then move to Tyler, played by Channing Tatum, showing off some impressive moves. A brush with the law lands him in community service as a janitor, and he soon meets Nora, our female lead, practicing ballet. 1 foot injury later, and the two of them become dance partners for an upcoming performance. From there, it's fairly predictable. They fall for each other, they get into squabbles, and they reconvene for a big dance number at the end. Plot-wise, it's harmless. Step Up is very aware that the dancing is its best attribute, and it shows it off a lot. But the film has a nasty habit of ruining dance scenes with sloppiness. The opening credits are fun, but the editor fades to each shot rather than using direct cuts, so it looks like the camera is blinking. The introduction of Tyler is enjoyable, but the ensuing scuffle is hard to take seriously when the assailant sounds like he's using a retainer. This hallway scene would be neat if the audio editing wasn't atrocious. Okay. Oh, come on, you're not even in rhythm. And when we finally see Tyler and Nora's first rehearsal together, it's actually an interesting scene. It patiently shows just how awkward the characters are, and how two good dancers don't necessarily mesh together.
Let's do it again.
But then this asshole shows up as the jealous boyfriend and cuts into the scene with all the subtlety of a tomahawk.
I can't. I have a lot to do.
That's for damn sure.
Brett.
I'm sorry, you got a problem?
Scene after scene, good moments are hobbled by bad filmmaking, poor acting, and this guitarist. To make matters worse, the romance, which makes up about 3/4 of the film, is just...
What?
It's just stiff. This whole thing is stiff. It's boring.
If you're going to structure the film around the dance scenes being rewards in between the drama, then the dancing should be icing on the delicious cake. Instead, they feel like the juice you use to chase bottom shelf vodka. Even at its most tasty, it's tainted. But if a film is consistent, the plot and the dancing can complement each other perfectly. And you don't have to do the old skip scene, skip scene, skip scene when you watch it at home. Which brings us to Shag. The film centers on 4 girls who take a weekend trip together as one last hurrah before one of them gets married. They meet boys, fall in love, and otherwise engage in early 1960s shenanigans. It's all really cheesy, but in a way that feels justified by the setting. One of the things that make the divide between Step Up's story and dancing so Canyon-like is the acting. All the character moments feel like such a struggle for the actors.
Look, I gotta get back to work.
I can't believe this.
And when they dance, it's like watching bored teenagers getting let out of school early. However, in Shag, the 4 actresses are all charming, and they fully devote themselves to their characters and southern accents.
I'm not gonna dance.
I also like how each of their characters has a desire that they ultimately satisfy, but either aren't aware of the desire or achieve it in a way that they didn't anticipate.
I think you got something, kid.
The male characters are also fun. Chip is the perfect sidekick, And Buzz is such a breath of fresh air because, unlike virtually every romance, he doesn't give a big speech or radically change himself to get the girl. He is uncompromising from start to finish.
Maybe I don't believe in practicing free love. Who does?
I do.
And our female lead simply warms up to him.
I can't marry you, Harley. I'm in love with Buzz. They went all the way.
What a badass. You may have noticed that I haven't mentioned the dancing yet, and that's because the dancing feels like an extension of the story, rather than, say, a tasty treat to jump for after you slog through 10 minutes of D+ dialogue. It's weaved in and out of scenes, sometimes in the background, sometimes center stage, and even though it's not much to brag about, really, it doesn't need to be. And now we're getting to my ultimate point. Step Up has fantastic dancing. I really want to stress that. But since it's only putting effort in its choreography, it's no better than the endless dance compilations on the internet. I admire the talent, but I don't feel anything. And that's what Shag does best. The characters who do the most dancing are Chip and Pudge. They are introduced as sweet yet insecure. Chip because he always feels like he's playing second fiddle to a more dashing guy.
She only went out with me because she had the hots for Buzz.
And Pudge because, well, she used to be fat, so all her friends call her Pudge. I mean, that's just mean.
I guess I'm just sensitive about my weight.
What weight?
But the point is, as they grow closer, their insecurities fade, and they become one of the most adorable couples ever put on film. And that's something I don't say lightly. Their chemistry is so infectious, and the setting so perfect, that as they fall for each other, we as audience members start falling for them. And if they didn't dance, that emotion wouldn't change. So when they do end up shagging at the climax, yes, that is the dance style, it's wonderful. We are on cloud 9. Only, and I mean only, because the story and the characters work just as hard as the dancing and the music to put us there. Earlier I asked if a dance film can mean as much as a dance scene, and I can only answer that question with another question. If you're shooting a film of this genre, do you stop and ask yourself, will the audience feel as they feel? Because we should.